So what would be the object lesson here? They tore down this all these buildings. I mean, they tore them all down. They bulldozed them all down. All these buildings. There used to be like a bunch of units right there. What's the object lesson? This was residential. They tore it all down. I mean, a bunch of homes. It was a crime area too, but and it started way back 60 years ago. I think it was called Smith Homes, and they tore it all down. What's the object lesson? We're talking about buildings that had been there forever. 60, 70 years maybe. What's the object lesson? Sometimes you just have to tear it down and start over. Sometimes God has to tear you down and throw you back on the wheel, the Play-Doh wheel, because the heart gets hard. It goes into a path. The hard heart goes into this path, and it gets harder and harder and harder. And sometimes you have to be thrown back on the potter's wheel and remade. You just have to, the whole thing has to be tore down. And I'm talking about your soul, your will, your emotions, your intellect, your whole worldview has to be destroyed, you know. Used to make people mad. I'd say, I'm here to attack your worldview. I'm here to destroy your worldview. That's what I would say. It would make people mad. Who do you think you are? If our, mine, yours, anybody's, if anybody's worldview is not biblically oriented, your worldview is going to be off kilter, and it needs to be destroyed. Because this is a sacrificial redemptive system based on the Lamb slain before the foundation of the world. That's why you have to sacrifice to get a paycheck. You have to sacrifice to get an education. You have to sacrifice to stay married. You have to sacrifice to have kids. You have to sacrifice to walk down the street. That plant or that animal sacrifices itself so you can have some protein and some food, some nutrients. Nutrients. The seed falls off the tree, and it has to die to create a new tree. It's a sacrificial redemptive system based on the Lamb slain before the foundation of the world. So to destroy your worldview is good. If your worldview is not based on that, everything unfolds from that. If you really want to solve all mysteries, I don't care who you are, go back to the Lamb slain before the foundation of the world. Even if you don't believe in it, just start there and see if it doesn't explain everything. And everybody who unfolds that, and you look around you and say, okay, that's because the Lamb slain before the foundation of the world. What about this flow? The blood had to flow. That's why this traffic's flowing. So everything is based on the cross, the sacrificial redemptive system that you're in, the money, the jobs, the education, everything is sacrifice down here. Lifting weights. You want to build muscle? You got to lift weights. You got to tear the muscle apart until it rebuilds itself. It's a sacrificial redemptive system based on the Lamb slain before the foundation. And if you look back at the cross, you'll see everything. What happened at the cross? Every movie that ever existed based on the cross. The horror shows, the love stories, the victories, the war movies, All movies are based on what Jesus did at the cross. Every movie. Think about what I'm saying. If you don't understand, send me an email. I'll explain. I already did some audio and videos on it. Every movie that's ever been created is based on what happened at the cross. Because your life, everything in your life is based on what happened at the cross. The Lamb slain before the foundation of the world. Just by me speaking this, out into the matrix, it has to reverberate. This is so powerful if you can get a hold of it. These telephone poles, these fences, everything in front of you is based on the root cause of all this. The Lamb slain. But it's because of man's sin that it even is a thing. Now, God knew man would sin when he created man. He knew a third of the angels would fall, 33%, 33 angels, 33. The year he went to the cross at 33. That's why you see 33 everywhere and CC everywhere. CC is 33. You see it everywhere. You see the gospel in all things. You see the cross in all things. The poles. Upright poles. Your mindset is either in the sine wave, the horizontal plane, the horror plane, the flesh mind, or your mind is in the upright, stable mindset. There's no in between. You're either off kilter or you're upright and you're on point. And so if you're off kilter in the sine wave, in the cycle, in the drama, the Draco-Ma cycle system, the Draconian system, you're off kilter and your worldview needs to be destroyed. I don't want to sacrifice. I don't want to suffer. I don't want to do it. Well, too bad. It is what it is. You're going to have to sacrifice. If you really are afraid of the sacrifice, whatever it is, that's your problem. It's too painful. It's too much of a struggle. Nobody cares. I sacrifice and nobody appreciates it. Welcome to the real world. Nobody knows. God knows. Nobody knows how much you sacrifice to do whatever you need to do to give them a place to abide or to learn from or to whatever they're going to do. You create a system or a whatever it is, you've got to sacrifice. I mean, you hear about the Tesla guy, what's his name? Elon Musk. You hear about Musk saying how much he slept on the floor. All the sacrifice he did to create the electric cars that he creates. Nobody knows how much he sacrificed. But he did it anyway. He could be lying, but who knows? He's probably telling the truth, because you can't start a business like that without sacrifice, because it's something new, you know? Anytime you want to bring something new into this reality, there's going to be some serious sacrifice. An invention, a new concept, or whatever, something that's never existed before, even though it has in the mind of God, because you can't think outside of God, but something new that shows up on the scene, some kind of new music or a new instrument, you're going to have to sacrifice to learn it and to build it or whatever it is. I'm actually going to sacrifice some money to get some gas. That's what I'm going to redeem my gas with a car here.